All right, welcome to another awesome. Hope we had enough turkey and a whole week of doing nada. Come back to work. Okay, so we're gonna start by using some start practice. I will do the odd sets as you will be required to do even sets. Okay, so let's look at the first one there. Oh, and a quick shout out to one of my fellow Padawans, my pupils. It's Italy. Hope you're having a nice day today. And so let's start with the first one here. A recipe calls for a pie, 2 cups of flour. Which description shows the amount of flour needed at this rate? So you want to find it at the same rate. Well, if you're comparing pies to cups of flour, think there. 1 pie, I need 2 cups of flour. I get it from here. A pie, 2 cups of flour. That means that 2 pies, I will need 4 cups of flour. Well, that means that 4 pies, I will need 8 cups of flour. Okay. And so then that means I can eliminate this one, 4 pies, 8 and 1/4 cups of flour. Okay. And so now, if I follow this pattern, 5 pies would be 10 cups, because we're going for every pie we add 2 cups of flour. So if I add 1 more pie, I add 2 more cups of flour, and so 6 pies, I need 12 cups of flour. 6 pies, I need 12 cups of flour. Same thing for this one. Look at the rate given to you, and then just follow that. Okay, 1 meter. We'll try 2 meters, 3 meters, and see how many centimeters you have. Okay, let's look at number 3 there. Number 3 says that when y increases by 15, x decreases by 45. Which equation represents the rate of change? So the key is there, the rate of change. Okay, rate of change. So y increases, that means y is a positive. So I know y, I'm going to use 15. X decreases by 45. Decreases means negative. So I know x is negative 45. Okay, 45 because of that 45, negative because of the word decrease. And so now, let me use one of the equations to solve the problem. For example, this is y. Well, y should be 15. So that means if y is 15, well, that means that 3 times the x, which is negative 45, should give me 15. And so 15 has to be my answer. Well, 3 times negative 45, if I use my Dorito Man rule, positive times a negative, it's a negative. 45 times 3 is what? 135. As you can see, 15 does not equal negative 35, so that's not the answer. So try another one. Let's try this one. Y is 15, because of what they said, y increased by 15. So y is 15. And so now let's try this one. Negative 1/3 negative times x, the variable x, well, the x is negative 45. Because of this, x decreases by 45. So negative decreases by 45. So negative 45. When we multiply a fraction times a whole number, we can use one of the strategies of, one of the steps, not strategy, one of the steps, we can multiply, make this a fraction by putting a 1 at the bottom. And so now we'll have, and it's a negative, 45 over 1. And so now I think, okay, 1 times 45, negative times a negative is positive. So 1 times 45 is 45. So I'm going to come up here. So I get 45 over 3 times 1 is 3. And so now I got to think, is 45 divided by 3 the same as this guy, 15 here? Okay. Is that the same? 15 is this guy. Is 45 divided by 3? And it is. If we divide 45 this way, 45 divided by 3, 3 goes into 4 ones. Bring down the 5. 3 into 15 goes in 5. And so it is. And so that means that 15 does equal this, because this will be 15, so my answer is D for dog. Okay, let me get a pen. Maybe it's better to use a pen. Okay, so number 5. Number 5 says, which statement best describes the rate of change? Now, sometimes in the rate of change, we can see a pattern. We can look at the x's across and say, okay, that's going by 3, this is going by 2, this is going by 6. There's no pattern there, okay? This is going by 21, this is going by what, 14? Okay, so see, it's not the same. Okay, but that doesn't mean there's not a rate of change. It just means that there's numbers being skipped here, okay? The x, we're missing 1 and 2, we're missing 4, and we're missing all those numbers that go in between those. So the pattern is not so easy to see. But we can still find the answer by using one of the ordered pair. For example, 3 and 21. I can make that as an ordered pair like this, 3 and 21. Okay, 3 and 21. And so now, if I'm looking for the rate of change, well, rate of change is the change in y over the change in x. And so if this is the x value and this is the y value, I can say, okay, y over x, or 21 over 3, I can simplify that by 3 and get 7 over 1. Now, you're going to say, well, would it work for another ordered pair? Well, let's use that one. Okay, let's use 5 and 35. And if I put y over x, so it's 35 over 5, simplified by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Again, I get the same ratio, 7 over 1. And if you don't still see it, do the other one, and you can see you get the same thing. Y over x. Remember, this is your x value, this is your y value. So I'm going to have 11 and 77. Y over x, 77 over 11. You simplify that by 11, or the denominator, you're still going to get 7 over 1. And so what is it saying? That means that something in the y's is increasing by 7. Something in the x's is increasing by 1. Well, I look at my choices. X increasing by 1, okay. But then y decreases by 7. No, it's actually increasing. So that's not my answer, but that's close. The value of y changes by 7. Ahí está. It's changing by 7. The value of x changes by 1. See? Ahí está. It's changing by 1. So my answer would be A. Okay, number 7. Which graph shows a rate of 20 per hour? Well, if I'm 1 hour, I'm making $20. 2 hours, well, I'm going to make 40. 3 hours, I'm going to make 60. Okay? Because it's 20 per hour. I can see that right there. 20 per hour. Okay? So why did I put the x as my hours and my y as my money? Because remember, x is always going to be your independent variable, and time is always independent, so it has to be your x, and y is your vertical, or your earnings here. Okay, so now 120 has to be there, so I go here. Okay, 1, it's not even 1, it's 20, and this is saying that you have to work 20 hours for $1. Well, so I don't know who you are, but I hope you don't feel that you want to work 20 hours for $1. So that's not going to give me the answer. I look at the next one there. I need these points. 1, so I'm going to say, okay, 1 hour, $20. 1 hour, 20. Boom. Ahí está. 2 hours, $40. 2 hours, $40. Bam. It's on the line. 3 hours, $60. Ping pong papas is there. Okay, and so all the points are on the line. No further needed. The answer's there. Okay, number 9 there. A brown hare hops at a constant rate. And so that means we have this word constant. It means we have something that's always going to be the same, or the rate of change. It takes 24 seconds to hop from point Q, 24 seconds from point Q to point R. Which equation describes the y? Look what it says there. Y, the number of meters. So, y, number of meters. Ahí está el y, 12 meters. Okay? And then the hare can hop in X seconds. Okay? Seconds. Oh, look. 24 seconds. Okay? So now remember, your y is the number of meters. X is your seconds. So let's look at the first equation. Y equals 2x. Well, what is y? Y is the meters. So I'm going to put here 12. 2 times x. X is the seconds. Oh, they use 24. So 24. So 12 equals 2 times 24, 48. 12 does not equal 48, so that's not going to give me my answer. Now, which should I try next? Maybe you can use a common sense here. Think about it. Should I try B or C? Well, if this didn't work, and this is adding 24 more on top of whatever I have to do here, I don't think I'm ever going to get to 12. So I'm going to use C. This one here. Y is the number of meters? 12. 12 equals 1/2 times x. X is the seconds, 24 seconds. So then 12 equals, and then when we multiply fraction with a whole number, make it a fraction, 24 over 1. Okay, oh, I need to put the parentheses. I don't know why I did that. I should have just kept the multiplication symbol. Okay, so that's my mistake. But it's still multiplication, okay? So I'm going to multiply 1 times 24, which is 24. 2 times 1, which is 2. And so is 12 is equal to, well, what's half of 24? Well, half of 24 is 12, so that's true. So my answer is C. C de gato. Okay? Go to number 11. The cost, look at this, another one of these cost problems. The cost in dollars, Y. X packages of dog food. The equation is given to you, y equals 3x. Okay, so let's use this for this equation here. Okay, so y equals 3x. Okay, y is your cost. Cost in dollars, y. So according to this, it should be $20 is equal to 3 times x. X is the packages, well, 60 packages times 60. It should be the same on both sides. Well, 3 times 60 is 180. There's no way that 20 is the same as 180, so no. Okay, let's try B. B has 75 packages. We said 75, the packages is your X value. So then 3 times 75 is equal to Y. Y is your cost in dollars. Well, that's what the cost is, 225. Okay, and so if I multiply 75 times 3, I get 225. So then 225 does equal 225. So that means this is my answer. That gives me the right answer. Okay, all I did was substitute the numbers, the numbers into the variables y and x. Okay, according to what they told me what the variable standing for. So read. Okay, 13. Linus booth rental fee at a hair salon is $128 per week. 128 per week. So that means in 2 weeks, I should not be paying the same amount that it costs per week. If 128 is 1 week, there's no way 2 weeks they're going to charge me the same amount. They're not making money. 2 weeks I'm going to pay $32. There's no way. How can it cost more per week over here, and then in 2 weeks I pay a lot less? No. Okay, 2 weeks. Okay, so 128, remember, 128 per week. So that means 2 weeks, 128 times 2. So 128 times 2, 256. Okay, works there, works there. But now we got to find out for 4. 128 times 4, 8 times 4 is 32. 4 times 2 plus 3 is 11. 4 times 1 plus 1 is 5. 5, 12. Boom. Ping pong papas. Answer is C. Okay. And one more. Okay. Okay. 15. Oh no, you know what? That's it. All right. Hopefully you can finish the rest. Mucha suerte. Bye bye.